What is up, YouTube? This is Richard, owner of Kingslayer Cards, with the one and only Messiah Hard Ali. He is going to be going over his top 8 BCS Duluth Link Joker deck profile.
Yes. So, I guess I got to start saying what I played right on my card list. That's how we do this.
Yeah.
All right. So, you guys, excuse me. I had like a little bit of procedure in my mouth after we came back from Atlanta. So if I sound a little bit like clunky, my bad. But so this is a weird deck I put together. It's not really new. It's kind of old. There was like a G-era version of this deck from back in the day. But I just been paying attention to my group, and I had like a lot of ideas of putting this together. Basically, it's just the Messiah engine for aggressiveness for early game to get the vocals out, and basically later on I go into the deleter basically put my opponent at 0, because when you put your opponent at 0, vocal gold just becomes scary, and along with the new stride and the given, it just causes so much like multi-attack and just refreshing the top cards and all that stuff just makes this deck crazy. Also, there's one thing I have to point out. I didn't have the promo in time, so my deck list is going to change, but now I have like the promo, so I'm going to upgrade the deck later on. But of course, we're going to use the starter, Neon Messiah, SP, because it's my favorite clan, and we got to have them maxed out. My grade 1 lineup, I'm not the biggest fan of, but it's like a mixture, because there's so many grade 1s to me that are so good, but for so many situations. Like, I play the White Dwarf at 2. High key, I feel I should bump her up, but there's a reason why this card is so important for certain matchups, because when you get the Heal Guardians, you need those against ripples, basically to put yourself maybe like 20 or 30, depending on what triggers you hit for defense. Also against the Jewel Knight matchup to stop Salone, because when you lock at least 3 cards, they won't be able to do the restand or off of Crystal Luster, which is very important. Because you know, Crystal Luster and Salone combination is broken, and I just hate that card. Like, I just hate Crystal Luster and Salone. Like, that couple just has to go. Even though people don't think it's broken, watch out for it, it's pretty broken. This is my most favorite grade 1, but so RNG, because, you know, but then again, you know, you get it. But of course, this grade 1, basically, you know, you place a card lock, draw a card. You basically don't want to combo with Vocal Gold, but sometimes I combo it with the Void. The Void is very good too because of its on-hit effect, but this guy just turbos the deck so much for the grade 4. And a lot of times people don't want to see the grade 4 at all, but having a 30k beater so early in the game on turn 2 is just ridiculous just to attack with. And also passing on the 10k, make your other unit however big you want, is ridiculous too. Just to put pressure on your opponent. Also against for the Gear Chronicle matches, you want to put on pressure. Or you're trying to push your opponent as much as high damage as you can with this deck. That way when you go to your deleter turn, it's more lethal. Also, this guy right here. I feel like I should maybe bump him up, but 3 was a good number for me for right now. Dunamis, of course, you know, combo with Vocal Gold, unlock Vocal Gold. Like, it's just wonky. Like, just doing it in this deck, I probably have gotten up to like 7 to 9 attacks from just doing the Vanguard so much, and then unlocking Vocal and Dunamis, and then swinging the Given and just keep going. It's ridiculous. Like, I recommend trying this out, because a lot of people sleep on Messiah for Link Joker period, but this is a very hyper aggressive deck. What else? This guy. So this is my favorite unit, but it's not needed. I did not use this guy once. I was barely ever on Messiah Vanguard. I think the only time I was on Messiah Vanguard was when I was playing against my boy Eric, who plays Jewel Knights, and I went to Amnesty. Basically because I used the self-damager from the grade 3 heal, and then I used this guy just to unlock it. I mean, counter charge, because this guy is okay, but definitely going to swap him out for the new promo deleter card that counts as 3 when you eat him up. So you don't need sacrifice, but if you want to play sacrifice, there are some weird plays you can do with this. Basically, there's a turn 2 integral play that I'm not going to get into because it's a secret, but I never really had a reason to do it on people. But yeah, with this guy, you combo with something else to make a turn 2 integral play. It's pretty crazy. Now we are going to get to my other favorite grade 1 that I really wish I could play more, but the deck space is just so tight. But this is my favorite one because everybody does not want this guy to hit, because they're like, man, I'm gonna let him hit he's gonna drop the grade 4 on me. Now I gotta do a 30K next turn. Like, this guy is my favorite. Like, off of him, even though he doesn't really do anything for my deck right now, but this guy right here is ridiculous. I definitely would bump him up, but we'll see, because that Prumo is just too good with this deck. Now for my grade 2s, Counter-Strike Gas Store, pretty standard. You know, you just place a card lot, draw a card. You want to combo this with the Vocal Gold. You want to get Vocal Gold out as fast as you can with this deck. That's the basis. Basically, like, you know, using that V premium engine with this deck, you need to get Vocal Gold out as fast as you can, because when your opponent's at 0, swinging 37 or just 30 or 34 is just ridiculous. This girl right here really didn't do anything for my deck unless I was on the Alter Ego turn, and she was just a poke at either 15K or 25. But when I'm on the Deletor stride and the Deletor grade 3, she's just 10K. I probably might bump up the Given and replace her for the other Prumo that's coming out. I'm not sure yet, but from testing, I'll go from there. But yeah, 3, you know what I'm saying? She looks cool though. She has, I guess, it's like the booty fencer that everybody called her, because she's like thick or something. I don't know. People like fanboy over this chick, but she's good. Now for this guy. The best card in the deck that just makes us keep going and going and going. So this guy, along with the Deletor grade 3 on ride and the new stride, is ridiculous. And now that Prumo's coming out, and I'm just gonna keep swinging and swinging. I'm probably gonna bump him up to 4, because why not? Just keep going, right? Next, my favorite guy in the game, Alter Ego Messiah, because, you know, it's always bless up, pretty standard. Just another way, if you don't have the grade 4 and you have them to drop, call another grade 1 or grade 2. It's just to really get skills going. This guy, we've had him for a long time. Back in the day, I was running the old Alter Ego Neo Messiah for just the draw engine, but I just said I scratched that and I just went to just straight aggro with this deck, because honestly, you can die by turn 2 strides. Even first strides can kill you nowadays. So yeah, pretty much that's why I just run them, just to turbo and have that engine in this deck. Now, my favorite but ugliest grade 3, because the leaders are cool, but I'm not a fan of insects, and these guys rhyming insects. I like the color purple, but you know, Yadoga. Yadoga, the on-ride delete, is the key. Once you do this and they're at 0 and their opponent is at high damage, even low damage, I've had 0 to 6 people, even with them hitting triggers with this guy, and a combination with the Given, the Vocal, and the Stride, because this is a very combo heavy type deck. Basically, and you have to kind of mitigate it. Sometimes you don't even need to ride this. Sometimes you have to take your time and ride this guy instead and use like a Basaltus or a Tranzel just to slow your opponent down. You have to go based off your matches, because there are some times where you need to rely on locking to mitigate the game and basically grind out your opponent and wear them down, versus, hey, your opponent has this many cards in hand and they're at this much damage. It's like you gotta understand the game state when you're playing these two guys, because there's 2 options. Either you're going to start setting up, or you're going to start taking the locking route, or maybe sometimes you can beat him on a V plus premium turn, versus this guy, like, all right, he's at 3 damage, he has like maybe 6 or 7 cards, I put him at 0, I can definitely kill him. It all depends. You also have to know your matches, because some people can neg your Vanguard 2 crit, or you need to learn where to put your force markers at. It's a lot of more of a based on the game state and your matches, like I said. And of course, the MVP, this guy that everybody hates, and is also my favorite card, because I have a lot of favorite cards in the deck. But when I saw this guy come out, I was like, wow, 30K, and you can pass 10K, why not? Force 2 is ridiculous in Messiah. It's pretty standard, you know what I'm saying? Call him locked, whatever, do your skills, all that stuff. That's the whole point of this deck, is to get him on board and swing very big and very fast against your opponent, especially when they're at 0. Trigger lineup, pretty basic. 4-draw PG. When that new card come out, that's like, I guess, an order PG, definitely gonna do this and have just 3. This card right here is your bread and butter to survive the Ripple matchup. Anything that can just rush you down, please try to get at least 1 or 2 of these and just hold it, because when you go against Ripples, and they see this, they're gonna be like, wow, now you're 20. Oh, well, got you, now I'm 30. It's ridiculous. Like, I've tilted so many Ripple players with this guy. It's ridiculous. Like, they just hate to see it. And of course, 4 crit and 3 to go in the soul, and of course the most broken card that I hate in the game. But I'm so numb to this trigger, but I'm not gonna lie, I only hit it once. My bad Blaze, I hit him on Blaze, and I just, like, you know, I think I hit him for like, I probably put him to like 9 damage with this card, which is, it's whatever, it just does what it does. Though I think they may be removed, but we gotta play it just to win, right? It's a competitive format. So this is the best aura trigger to me, because it's just out of nowhere and they don't PG, you just lose usually. All right, now to my stride zone. Why not? I'm gonna put those little pretty markers to the side. Okay, let's see. So, 1 Amnesty. So the reason why I run Amnesty, 1, just for the multi-attack and the crit pressure. He also gains power on himself, so if they don't have a PG, he's hard to guard. He'll definitely force a G Guardian no matter what. Basaltus, so there's 2 different ways. Either you can go to Basaltus as just a backup generic stride, like, hey, I just need to do this just to get something happening. He can draw you a card. Or you have strode so much that you can at least lock up to 3 to 5 cards on the board and unlock your board as well. So he's okay. I feel that one day I hope we get something better, but I'm not the biggest fan of Basaltus, so I have him at 2. But he gets the job done when you need him. Of course, this is our cheese card, because everybody hates this card. I'm not gonna lie, I did not use this guy 1 time, because the game didn't go that far. But some games you do take the long route where you just can just grind to this guy and put them back to 5 cards in hand. For some reason, it's kind of awkward. A lot of people don't know about this card, and I'm like, okay, maybe you're kind of new, but you should definitely read this card. It can do some pretty heavy damage to people. This is my oh shit button card, where shit hits the fan and I'm like, yo, I need to lock the whole board. I need to slow my opponent down. Transils all day. Self-explanatory, gets the job done. This is for Ripples or anybody that excels markers on me, like very fast, golds, Vanquisher, Vowing Saber, just to remove the markers and slow down my opponent. Also, he gets a bunch of crits and he gains power. Sometimes my opponent didn't have a PG and they just got smacked by this. Also, if you delete your opponent, you can restand them when they give him and just swing again. It's pretty scary. Also, the other MVP, this guy right here. So there was a ruling on this guy. I didn't really understand at first. I thought it was a one or the other, but apparently you can do both. So basically, you can call 2 cards from the top 7 and place them as locked. And for every locked card each, you can either lock if you bounce a card, or you can unlock. So you can choose one or the other. This card's really good. When you do this with the Deletor play and the given, just the fact that you keep calling 2 cards from the deck and then you're drive checking multiple cards, it just fuels your skill for given and just to keep restanding. Some people I've seen play Awakening Messiah. For me personally, my deck space is too tight, but I might start testing it out just to see, just to get the restand off on the given, so I don't have to sacrifice a given, especially with that new promo, and start leaning more toward a Deletor side of the deck, but we'll see. And then this is just for mirror matches against Messiah. I'll also just to lock 2 cards for the free. He's just a soul blast, so that's nothing. Once again, he's just a card just to mitigate and grind the game out. If I catch him slipping, bam, front row's already locked, and then we just go from there and we start grinding out the game. I only play 4 G Guardians. I think our G Guardians are pretty trash. Like, I wish they just gave us like a denial type G Guardian where we can lock the front row, but hey, they hate us, but it's all good. Play 2 of her. She locks the back row, gains 5. I don't know if this is actually a girl or a boy, so yeah, whatever she is, he or she is. This guy, you know, just the combo with Lapis Karina, who can lock 3 and I lock my opponent backward. This is for Jewel Knights. This always works against Jewel Knights. We got the 2 Heal Guardians, or, you know, pitch them, whatever, G Guard. I'm just not a fan of our G Guardians. I wish we had something better, but who knows, one day, maybe. But all in all, this is the basis of my deck. It will change the more competition I enter and the more games I see as the meta changes for myself.
Okay, awesome. And what did you play this weekend?
All right. So don't quote me. I just had to write this down because I definitely forgot for a few seconds of order. But so I wrote it down right here. So basically, I played against Novas round 1. My opponent probably thought I was playing Chaos, and I flipped over Messiah. So he was like, "Oh, I'm okay," and I was like, "I don't think you're okay." So he didn't even get the stride, so he just died immediately. Round 2, I played against my boy James Albright. He's also a good player. He plays in Florida. I'm not sure where he lives. I think he lives in like Jacksonville, but he's really good with Joe Knights also. I got the double on him. I think a lot of reasons people don't expect my deck and they didn't know what it does. So a lot of people, he rode up on me and then I just went to my Deletor and just continued just to truck through. I played against a Tachikaze player. That was a very fun match. The guy was really cool. I wish I would remember everybody's names because I met some really dope people that day. I also played against my boy Franz. He played DI, which is really cool. He played Barrow NOK, sorry for mispronouncing that. That was a cool deck. I played against Narukami Bowing Saber, round 5. That was against Blake. That's the person I over-triggered. I hate that trigger, but hey, it happens. Round 6, I played against my boy Noman. He played Ripples. And then round 7, this is my first loss out of all those rounds. I played against actually my own deck build that me, Richard, and Marshall put together. It was Bowing Saber. But the thing is, the only reason why I lost because I had him where I needed him. Because once you force your opponent to ride up, and they have like less cards in hand, they only have like 4 or 5 cards in hand, you can probably auto kill them. But apparently I bricked. I literally pitched the Hill Guardian to guard with, and then I G-assisted into the Hill Guardian. And I was like, oh, I lose. My bad. Round 8, I played against my boy Eric. I am so sorry, Eric, because he G-assisted twice at grade 0 and whiffed both times, and that was that. And then top 8, I played against Peter, who was running MF Mystery Flare Dragon, MFD, the deck that everybody hates. So that one was weird. That deck is very strong on a high roll. I can definitely say that because I didn't get to do anything against that deck. I didn't play. Basically, I also didn't see my grade 3 either. That's another reason why I lost to that deck. But overall, I mean, he's a cool dude. I have fun the whole time. Even with the losses against that deck, I was like, oh, this was cool to see because I seen it in playtesting, but I never seen it go off like that. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, he had the full 3 to 4 turns on him. I was like, wow, this deck is crazy. They should definitely hit it. But it's crazy and it's kind of cool. I respect it. But basically, yeah, I only lost twice that day, but I feel like I only lost to bricks. I feel basically from those matches I learned a lot, and the experience also I gained to make a lot of different changes to my deck to build up more consistency for other tournaments to come.
Is there any shout outs you want to give?
Oh, I gotta give a shout out to the man behind the camera for definitely helping me out, sponsoring Richard, Kingslayer owner. My boy Chris, he's also in the room because you guys gotta love Chris. Chris is the funniest person I ever know. Shout out to my team members. Shout out to my boy Andrew Condrick and Crow, especially Crow, because Crow gave me this pep talk. I was really gonna play Eradicator. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna play my Eradicator deck, but then he just gave me this talk and was like, yo bro, you gotta stick to your roots. And I was like, man, you're right. Bless up, I'm gonna keep to the deck. Also gotta give a shout out to the judges. They were all really good. Like, I didn't have any issues with any type of decisions they made. And then even then, like the whole day, like when you judge, it's just a long, drag-on day. I like to give a shout out to the people that helped me test. Peter, Eric, James, Ryan, Robert, the whole team. Everybody helped me test this deck out. Shout out to Marshall for even giving me ideas with the deck. Shout out to everybody actually. Shout out to the church. Bless up to everybody that's playing Link Joker out there. Keep playing the deck, keep testing, keep playing Chaos. The leaders are getting crazy. Play Messiah, mix it up, have fun. Shout out to my boys on Twitter. Follow me, Harsme007, and that's my deck list. Thank you for your time.